This video will discuss chapter 10.3, triangles. So in this video we're going to talk a lot about how many degrees there are in a triangle. So really important to understand that there are 180 degrees in a triangle, right? Theoretically half of a circle. And so if you take each of the three angles of a triangle, which is how it got its name, right? Triangle. So of those three angles, we add them together, we should get 180. And so when you get a question like this one where it's asking you to find the value of x, and I know these two angles, 89 and 54, the idea is that I know that 89 plus 54 plus x should equal 180, right? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the 89 to 54, and so this is going to be 143 plus x equals 180. Right, and now what I want to do is take 180 and I want to subtract 143 essentially from both sides. This is minus 143 here and minus 143 here. I mean, this is kind of like algebra we were doing before. This will cancel out. I'm left with x equals 37. So x equals 37 degrees. And then if I want to check my answer, I go 37 plus 89 plus 54 and make sure that it adds up to 180. So that's one major concept from this chapter. The second major concept, let's look at this one, is the idea of if they all add up to 180, what if they don't give us any of the angles? So I know that if I take the three angles, they are in the ratio of 1 to 3 to 8. Okay, so the question, the measures of the angles of triangle ABC are in the ratio of 1 to 3 to 8. What are the measures of the angles? I know that the first angle, I guess this angle is 3 times the first, and this angle is 8 times the first. So if I call this first angle x, let's say, the second angle is going to be 3x, and the third angle is going to be 8x. Right, so this is x. So this is the 1 to 3 to 8 ratio. I add up all three angles, they should add up to a total of 180. So this is going to become an algebra problem for us. And so we're going to combine like terms. And so when we add these together, 1 plus 3 plus 8, this becomes 12x equals 180. I'm then going to divide both sides by 12. And I've got x equals 15. So a lot of people stop there, but that's not what the question was asking. Remember, the question asked, what are the measures of the angle? So I know the first angle is 15 degrees because I know that is x. The second angle is going to be 15 times 3, and the third angle will be 15 times 8. So if I take this first angle, which is 15 times 3, I'm going to end up with 45. So this is 45 degrees. And then this last angle, 15 times 8, is 120. And so this is 120 degrees. Now to double check my answer, what I'm going to want to do is take 15 plus 45 plus 120 and make sure that they total out to 180, which they do. All right, now hold on. I got to grab the textbook for just a moment. I forgot. Sorry, I forgot what was coming next. We're going to talk a little bit about angles and triangles. And so if we're looking, and I'm going to try to get you a good shot of this. So we're talking about different types of angles, and I believe that much of what we're about to look at is going to be review, and then we're going to kind of take it one step further. And so the idea is that an angle that is less than 90 degrees is acute. An angle that is exactly 90 degrees is 90. An angle that is greater than, is a right angle. An angle that is greater than 90 degrees but less than 180 degrees is an obtuse angle, and an angle that is exactly 180 is straight. So keep in mind that the idea here is that this is less than 90, this is exactly 90, this is greater than 90 but less than the straight line, or 180, and then this would be your straight line. And then I want to kind of take a look quickly at this next page. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get it. I may have to lift this up a little. So I want to look at starting up here with the triangles. So this page is bending on you, right? There. Better? All right, so an acute triangle is one that has all angles are acute angles, so they all must be less than 90. An obtuse has one angle that's greater than 90. The rest of them are obviously going to have to be less than 90. You can't have a triangle with two obtuse angles. So this would have one obtuse angle, and acute has all acute, and then a right triangle would have one right angle, so it would be one that's exactly 90, and then the other two are going to have to be acute. Okay, so you either have a right angle, an obtuse angle, or all four would have to be acute angles. And then, this is talking about in terms of classifying by angles, you also classify triangles by sides. And so, a scalene triangle has no congruent sides. All three sides are different lengths. An isosceles triangle would have at least two sides that are congruent. And an equilateral triangle has all three sides are congruent. And so you can see that these little red hash marks often are the way that we tell if something is congruent, or, you know, in this example, there are no hash marks. So even though it may look as though some of them are the same length, they are not. Okay, you may want to hit pause on the video to copy down these 6 triangles. Make sure you understand how to classify by triangles by angles, and by sides. We're going to use this in the next problem. All right, so let's take a look now at classifying 2 triangles. I'm going to move this, if I can, back down. All right, so this first triangle, you can see has a right angle. So if we're classifying it by angle, this is going to be a right triangle. But keep in mind that we are classifying it both by angles and by sides. So this is a right triangle. All three sides are different lengths because all 3 angles are different lengths. So this is a right scalene. Right? It's right triangle because there's a right angle. It's scalene because all 3 sides are different. So a lot of times in the past, I believe people have either classified them by angles or by sides. Remember, we are classifying both angles and sides. If you look at this triangle in B, this is 68 degrees, and 44 degrees. These 2 sides are congruent. Okay, because 68, and 44 all are acute, none of them are right, none of them are obtuse, so this is going to be an acute triangle. And now, if you classify it by sides, these 2 sides are the same, so it's acute equilateral. This triangle is an acute equilateral triangle. Sorry, I'm off the screen. All right, so that's all I got for you on triangles. Thanks very much for watching the video. Don't forget to do the problems on the bottom of the page. See you in class.